Well, good evening, fellow vegetable nerds. It is like 2 in the morning, and it's also the year 2020, so time has no meaning, and it doesn't matter. But I have a giant box of goodies, and that's what does matter. So let's start Meetin Veg.
Hey, turn up the caramello and chisel on the shizney. It's time for me to what? Let me introduce myself. I'm Gino Burrito. My pants are made of leather. I find it hard to constrain weight.
Oh man, what a year this week has been. It's been a long, interesting week. Been some rough times. I would like to congratulate the state of Oregon for quitting smoking. That's a pretty good thing. Today's the first day we've had that's been back in the green. The air quality index has made it back to a healthy level, which is wonderful. It has been so surreal. I haven't been able to leave the apartment or really go and do anything. Today's the first day that the sky was kind of bluey gray and not like an orangey gray, which is what it's been this whole time. And I'm not even in one of the worst hit areas. So a lot of people I know were taking pictures of like the sky just bright red. And you know, there are people whose air quality index was just like off the charts. So I know I'm feeling very, very lucky. And especially I know that the fires have been really devastating for a lot of people in the state of Oregon. So I certainly can't complain. It was a hard week for me. I cannot imagine how much harder it was for them. So I have on my last video and on this one as well, I'll be posting links for places where you can donate to help people who have been affected by the fires, including if you get a CSA box, like I do have one from Full Circle. You've seen unboxings from them a couple times. They allowed me to donate my box this week to the Oregon Food Bank. So there's a lot of different ways that you can help people out. So maybe consider doing that. In the meantime, let's try and focus on some positive stuff. Like I got some cool vegetables in here and I got some fun stuff to go through. And like there's nothing I would rather do at 2 in the morning than hang out with people I like in my kitchen looking at vegetables. Today's order is from Weee. I really love saying that name, but I also feel very silly when I do it. Does nobody remember the little song and music video from like way back, earlier days of YouTube? I think it was like Albert the Christmas Squirrel, the song called Weee. Maybe I'll link that. The internet was a strange place back then. It's a stranger place now, but for different reasons. I got some stuff in here I've had before, and I got some stuff in here that's new, because, I mean, that's how you do, you know? So I wasn't planning on doing an order with them just yet. I'd been kind of looking at some stuff, and I'd been slowly building a basket, and then they had a really good sale on a few things, and I was like, oh, maybe I should try a few things. And then out of the blue, they just sent me an email, and they're like, you know, we noticed you haven't bought anything in a little while. You want $10? And I was like, yeah, I want $10. So that gave me a great incentive to place an order. Like I needed an incentive. First things first, right on top. These are some really beautiful and enormous trumpet mushrooms. These are king trumpet mushrooms. They're also known as king oyster mushrooms. These are huge. These are a really good mushroom. Like, a lot of people enjoy mushroom flavor, but they have a really hard time with texture. Because I know that mushrooms can get a little soft, they can get a little mushy, and you know, some people call them slimy. I don't mind it, but I understand texture is a big thing with food. These guys might be one to try out if that's one of your issues. They stay pretty solid and pretty meaty. They are a real, like, solid mushroom. The flavor's fantastic. You definitely want to cook these. They don't taste like anything. They're not that pleasant to have when they're raw, but when you cook them, you get this really beautiful umami flavor. It's very savory. You can use these in place of meat for a lot of things. And they also last pretty well in the fridge. You're gonna get like at least about a week out of it, which is great. So I got a jar of radish kimchi. Oh, I love that. When you pick it up and it starts, and you can see that it's like bubbling. That's all the gases from the bacteria that are alive in here. I really love kimchi. Now it's only mild, and I really prefer a spicy kimchi. You know, the selection is what the selection is. I take what I can get, and I love the radish kimchi. It's made with daikon radish. Daikon radish can be kind of sharp, when you have it by itself, but when you pickle it and add a little bit of something sweet to it, it becomes really pleasant. I know it's kind of late. I'm just gonna... Oh man, I haven't even opened the jar and I can smell it. It's so pungent. At my old job, I had a jar of kimchi that I brought to work and I would eat it for lunch. And one of my coworkers put it in a big Ziploc bag and wrote level 5 containment on it because apparently the smell was objectionable to him. I haven't had this brand before. What's it called? Mommy Boss? I hate that name, but that's okay. She doesn't need to prove anything to me. That is really pungent. It smells really good. Yeah, probably shouldn't stick my fingers in there, but sue me. I can't believe I spent most of my life not eating kimchi. I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even try it until a few years ago at the farmer's market. And I remember being afraid that I wouldn't like it, which is weird because like it's all the flavors that I like. But I got this sense that it sort of smelled like the sink, like it smelled like the garbage disposal. Not a great endorsement, honestly, but I tried it and it was delicious. And I have been hooked ever since. I do prefer the spicy stuff, but like this is yummy. You know what's nice about the kimchi is not only can you eat the solid pieces of kimchi, but you can also cook with it. I make these collard greens that are really good, and you know how collard greens are made better by some kind of like a vinegary hot sauce or something like that. When I'm almost done cooking them, I add in the liquid from some kimchi, and it really just brightens it up, and it gives it a much deeper flavor. And there's no vinegar in kimchi, but there is a vinegary sort of that fermented flavor does the job instead, and it's really good. Chili crisp. I've been out of this and it's really been bumming me out and it's been hard to find. So we get things from Fred Meyer occasionally, and they had this and it's like $6 a bottle, and I was like, ugh, I know that's not what it's supposed to cost. But I was like, I don't have that many options right now. So I ordered it, and week after week after week it didn't come, and I guess they were out of it or something. And then I found it on Amazon and it was also more money than I wanted to pay, and I was like, ugh, this sucks. I'm gonna have to like ration it or something. And then I saw that Weee has it, and this is like $2 something. It's less than $3. And I'm like, that is fantastic. So I got 2 of them so I wouldn't run out. Because the one that I got not that long ago is already, I'd say, about 75% gone. I got some more of those really awesome Chinese chives. These guys here, I need to look up the best way to store these because they got a little not so great after not very long in my fridge. And that's not their fault, and that's not Wee's fault. That's definitely me's fault. So I gotta go online and do some research, because I used to have that problem with regular chives as well. And I used to have that problem with a lot of things. And it just takes finding out what each individual thing needs. Probably this is gonna wanna go into a glass of water like regular chives do. That flavor is incredible. If you haven't had these, you really owe it to yourself. It's a little oniony, it's a little garlicky, a little grassy. It's very fresh tasting. Generally you would use these as an addition to something, but honestly I could just about just sit and eat them. These are so good. That beautiful sort of garlicky flavor is just all throughout my mouth in the most pleasant way. It's not sharp like garlic. It's not as pungent, but it's just this nice even coating of garlickiness. So this is a different brand. So red oil mixed ingredient. Oh no, that's quite small. So basically it's pretty similar to chili crisp. I can see that it's got some sesame seeds in there, but it's also got a few more ingredients to add extra flavor. So I see some Szechuan pepper, so that's gonna give you like that tongue nummy kind of flavor. And Szechuan pepper has to me, sort of almost like a slightly camphory taste. It's really unusual. Plus, it's got some ginger and scallion edible flavor. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna take your word for that. I mean, I hope it's edible. I don't know what flavor it's supposed to be or what that means, but all right, I trust you. Basically, another hot chili oil with some slightly different stuff in it. Tell you what, when you run out of chili crisp and you're used to having chili crisp on hand, like you come to the realization that it's important to stock up. because being out of chili crisp is no fun. Crispy dried shrimp. I don't know. Just thought I'd try it. What? It's just straight up, like that's a whole ass shrimp. Okay. I like it. It's kind of like if you've ever had, was it like salt and pepper shrimp at a Chinese restaurant? We used to go to this Chinese buffet. I can't imagine going to a buffet anytime soon, but they had this salt and pepper shrimp, and it's a whole shrimp with like some kind of seasonings and coating and stuff, and they fry the whole thing. I could just eat that and be happy. It is so, so, so good. And I know this makes me weird, but I like shrimp tails. That's like my favorite part of the shrimp. You know, what are you gonna do? So when you get the salt and pepper shrimp, it's all, you get the outside coating of all that chitinous shell, and you get to eat that as well, and it's all crunchy and stuff, but you also get the soft meaties on the inside. And it's just like that, except like slightly different. It's not as crunchy. I think when they dry it, it becomes, it's not crispy. It's not brittle, because I think crispiness implies a brittleness. It's not that, but it's definitely toothsome. It's not mushy in any way. All I can really say is maybe you should just like pick some up and try it. I mean, I know there's a vegetable channel and I'm talking about vegetables and stuff, but like, you know, try lots of things. I'll bet there was some Szechuan in there. Really good. I will buy more of that. I really enjoyed that. Bean sprouts. I should really sprout my own. I'm very lazy. Sprouting bean sprouts is one of those things that I mean to do and then I don't do it. So store-bought is fine. And those can go into anything. You throw them in, they're great in a stir fry, especially if you don't have noodles. So I get some black vinegar. I've never had it. I don't know. But I've been seeing a lot of stuff lately where people use it, and apparently it's just sort of one of those universal condiments. I can smell it through the lid. I haven't even opened the thing yet. It smells like soda. Like, okay. It smells like if you poured like a can of Coke into a thing of Worcestershire sauce. I can definitely smell both of those at the same time. That is so interesting. I have no idea what I'm going to use this on, but I'm really looking forward to trying it. So I'm glad that I tried it. It was like super cheap and it was on sale. Like I said, it seems to be pretty universal. So you get some food and go, I don't know, you know, so you can put it on just about anything. I got some more watermelon radishes. These ones are nice and like pinky purple on the outside. These are the guys, remember from last time, they're nice and dark red on the inside, but you've got like a layer of greenish around the perimeter. And so when you cut it into wedges, it looks like little wedges of watermelon, and it's really pretty. On any plate, it looks so nice. And I've been eating these with so many different things. I've been using them as toppings for like tacos and things like that. It gives a great bit of crunch. It's not nearly as sharp as a daikon radish, and it's not as sharp as a regular red radish or even a French breakfast radish. They're very mild, so you just get that nice flavor. You can also roast them. I don't think they need to be roasted. Regular radishes really mellow out. These are already pretty mellow, and I kind of like these for fresh eating. But honestly, you can do whatever you want. So no one's gonna stop you. I got more of these great big long beans. These, apparently you can just totally cook these just like any other green bean. You probably want to cut them up a little smaller. So just do like a chop all the way around. Cook it. Some chili crisp. You can throw whatever you want in there. I've heard that these, there's a recipe that was recommended to me for Szechuan long beans, so I may try that. These guys are pretty excited. Okay, dig this. Look at this entire massive bag. This is nuts to me, okay? Well, it's peppers, not nuts. I mentioned it was like 2 in the morning, right? I'm getting just slightly loopy. I love how it's all green except for one little red guy in there. So these, I know they look like padrones, but they're not. They're Shishitos. And they're very similar to padrones. And in fact, generally you would make them in the same way, where you just kind of blister them in the pan, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of coarse sea salt, and you're good. Maybe add garlic if you want to, but just super basic. There are some differences between the Shishito and the padrones. The Shishitos are a bit longer and thinner, but also Well, all of them are mild. They're both mild peppers. Remember the padrones, about 1 in every 10 is going to be a little bit, spicy. Not too spicy, but just like a little bit of a surprise. These guys are about 1 in 20, which is generally why I prefer the padrones, but these are delicious too. So if you're not as much of a fan of heat as I am, these might be a better choice for you. Generally, you would get these like at a farmer's market or something in like a little pint thing, and it's like $5 or $6, and that pint is maybe 1, maybe 2 servings. That is a heck of a value. I tell you what, I did not pay $5 or $6 a pint for this. I don't remember exactly what I paid, but it was a steal. So now I have so many that I need to go and look up some recipes, because maybe there's something else I can do with them besides make them the way that I usually do. So that's going to give me some opportunities. I have another chili oil. I just, you don't want to be without it. This is more of your straight up chili oil. You know what? It looks pretty similar to the other one I got. But it's, yeah, so this one says red oil mixed ingredient, and this one says something in Chinese. But the ingredients look pretty similar. I don't even care if I got 2 of the same thing. Like, the important thing is that I have enough. Okay. Check these out. Isn't that pretty? So, these were listed there. Some of the things you're gonna find on Weee, just gonna let you know, aren't written in English. And sometimes you just gotta do a little copy paste in Google and see what things are. And I'm really glad I did that with these, because I thought these might be the same thing as my Chinese chives over there, but they're not. So these are the flower buds. They called them, I think they called them fragrant leek flowers, but then I sort of looked that up further, because that doesn't look like leeks. And then I saw that they were apparently the flower buds of garlic chives, which I think technically, I don't know if exactly, makes this sort of escape. Remember, we had garlic scapes, we had leek scapes, we had onion scapes. Maybe this is garlic chive scape. Let me see what one looks like all the way down to the bottom. That sure looks scapey to me. So solid, like a garlic scape, and like the leek scape, and not hollow like the onion scape. And there's your flower bud on the end, like all scapes. It's just, gosh, that's nice. Again, it's just that beautiful oniony, garlicky, but still that green and vegetal sort of flavor. Oh man, I just want to eat this with everything. It's a little sharper than the Chinese chives. Like, these has got a little bite on the back end. And who doesn't like a little bite on the back end? I'm so excited to have so many of them too. Like, they're certainly generous. I gotta say, for the prices and for how much you get for your money, like, I'm in love with this company. And the delivery came, just as easily and just as well as it did last time. They knocked on the door, I heard them, and it wasn't like a big secret or mystery. I got an email immediately, and they were like, hey, we just delivered your stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It was great. Remember last time when they said that, just so you know, there might be some dry ice in there. Depending on what you bought, then we might have thrown some dry ice in there. Don't touch it with your hands. And I was like, okay, thank you for telling me, because I probably would have. Well, they said the same thing. They warn you every time. And I saw this. I didn't remember what I ordered. And without even giving it a moment's thought, I just stuck my hand in there. Now, it wasn't dry ice, but it could have been. All right. So what this is, you got a little 3-pack there. This is natto. I have never had it. I am aware of it. I've been aware of it. I'm a little nervous about it. Natto it's like fermented soybeans. From what I hear, they're a little polarizing. I hear they're a little kind of an acquired taste. But sometimes I like weird tastes, and you never know what you're gonna like until you try it. And there's 3 of them. So if I try it and I hate it, I can give it some time. I can try it again. If I still hate it, give it a little time. forget that it's in my freezer, eventually go to clean it out and be like, oh snap, I forgot that was in there, and give it a third shot. If I still hate it after the third time, well then, you know, I can say I tried. And it wasn't expensive at all. If I remember correctly, this was like less than $2. So I was like, how am I gonna say no to that? There's a video, what's her name? Meetin Japan, I believe, where she shows you how to eat natto, and you know, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna do it the way that she says. I'm gonna watch her video again, see if I can get it just right. So these guys, they are fermented. Apparently they get kind of stringy and slimy. None of that sounds appetizing, but you just never know what's gonna be good. I've eaten snails and it's amazing. Snails are delicious. There are so many things that sound super gross, but you know, that's just our perception, man. And that's the end. That's all I got. If you want to try them out, if they are in your area, I'm going to place a link in the description. I have a referral code, and you will get a referral code too if you buy something from them. So if you want to try them out, please use my code. You'll get money off, I'll get money off, and then I can afford to keep buying stuff to show off to you. So thank you for hanging out with me here in my kitchen. Been a rough week, but I'm glad that I could hang out with you and have a nice time and geek out over some vegetables. So I'll see you in some better times. Take care of yourself. Be nice to yourself. Be nice to somebody else.
Hey, turn up the caramello and shizzle on the shizney. It's time for me to what? Let me introduce myself. I'm Gino Burrito. My pants are made of leather. I find a